You're listening to the 5-Minute Friday podcast episode of The Aligned Self. This is your host, Daniel Danovi. Okay, 5-Minute Friday, a short and concise podcast episode of The Aligned Self designed to leave you with a question, an idea, a strategy, a tip, a hack, in order to give you greater access to your conscious awareness, evolving your conscious awareness, or give you greater mastery over your mind. Hello, friend, and welcome into this 5-Minute Friday. Today I had the pleasure of meeting a beautiful woman, beautiful in spirit. I decided that I needed a piece of furniture like a credenza for my office, and I love to repurpose, recycle when I can, especially when it's exactly what I want. So I went on Facebook Marketplace and I found exactly what I wanted, and it was at the right price. It was only $25. How can I pass that up? We worked out the details, and I met her at her husband's office, which he was cleaning out his office, and she confided in me that he was terminally ill. He's been fighting cancer, and he's just too tired. He's gone through round and round of chemotherapy, and he's going through another round. So there's still a chance, but the prediction is not a rosy one. Well, next door to her husband's office, she has 30 years of her collecting of antiques. She wanted to show me her collection. She's created a museum, and it's all antiques from the 50s and 60s. Many things that were in my childhood. And I was pleasantly surprised at just how nostalgic I was. I saw toys that I had when I was a kid, toys that my neighbor had, toys that I saw advertised on TV. She has a complete collection of all the original Barbies, and they don't look old. Many of them look brand new. But she didn't just have toys. Being in her shop, it literally was a museum. And I asked her, how long has she been doing it? And she said, I've been collecting for 30 years. But I opened up the store in 2019, and then COVID happened. And so they never really got their grand opening, because the year after COVID, her husband was diagnosed with cancer. And fighting that has been a drain on both of them. But walking around her shop, you can tell that this has been a labor of love. This is a passion. And it's 30 years of collecting, not junk. Really nice stuff from the 50s and 60s. As she showed it to me, she said, I wish I could keep it open. I wish I could work it. I wish I could open it up to the public and show other people, because other people that are born in the kind of the era that I was, it's so nostalgic for them to go back and be with all these different articles. But she said, dealing with her husband's illness, dealing with all the things going on in her life. She's in her mid-70s. She said, I'm just tired. And I can't do this. So she's put the place up for sale. If you're interested, contact me and I'll connect you. The price she's asking is pretty low. You could easily double your money, triple your money, especially if you have a passion for antiques. But the point of my message, the point of the podcast today, is that sometimes all you can do is all you can do. And so I'm asking you to be gentle with yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. If you're tired, lay down your head and rest. Take a day off. And if necessary, take a look at the goals and the dreams that are left undone. And do you have the energy to fulfill on them? Is it better to let it go? About 10 years ago, I had a client come to me and ask me, how do I let go of my airplane? And I said, excuse me? He said, how do I let go of my airplane? My dad built an airplane from scratch, and he flew it. He was a pilot. And so I began building my own airplane after he passed away. My garage is filled with airplane parts. My wife is after me to sell it, to get rid of it, but I just can't do it. I feel like I should, but I just can't do it. I asked him, how long has the disassembled airplane been in his garage? He said, almost 15 years. After a deeper discussion with him, he realized that he had been working on this airplane in order to impress his father. Well, his father was no longer alive, but in his mind, he felt like he was letting his father down. He wasn't living up to the image that his father had for him. I told him, I'm getting the impression that the reason you haven't actually built the airplane is because you don't really want to do it. It's not really in your heart. I said, if it was, you would have built it already. If it was your dream, you would have taken action on it. And I said to him, sometimes all you can do is all you can do. And then I asked him, wouldn't it please your father even more so if you were engaged in an activity that you found passionate, that fulfilled you, that was a natural expression of who you wanted to be, and not some kind of recreation of your father? I suggested to him, forgive yourself for not completing on the project. It just wasn't in your heart. In your mind, it was something that you thought your father wanted you to do, but it really wasn't what was driving you, driving your heart. If you think you need it, I'm giving you permission to let it go. It's okay. Now, there's a story of alignment in here, but I'm not going to go down that road. You can ascertain why he wasn't aligned. But what's really behind the message for me today is just be gentle with yourself. Especially, I'm in this conversation of peak performance, doing the best you can, maximizing your efforts. And sometimes it seems just too much. We all have good days and bad days. We've all made dreams when the enthusiasm is high, and then as time drags on, we lose interest over time. Because in actuality, it wasn't a true dream. We weren't truly committed to it. Because ultimately, we finish everything we're committed to. And while I'm one of the first ones to say, persist, keep on keeping on, you're the one that declares yourself unstoppable, sometimes you're at a point where it's not worth it to go any further. It's time to call it in. It's time to take a rest. It's time to give up on a particular dream. Was it really a dream? Was it a wish? Or was it a hope? I've been a coach for over 30 years, and it has not been easy the whole way. When I first started, they didn't even call it coaching. And there's been some lean times along the way as I've tried to figure out who I am and what do I offer. And many times, people around me that love me have asked me, are you sure this is the path for you? Because it doesn't seem to be working out. But that's the thing. In my heart, I could not give up. I have to do this. And as a result, I've achieved a certain amount of success. I'm now at the point where I want to take it to the next level. I want to blow the top off it, go even further. Not because I'm making up for some deficit like I was in the early years. Now I'm just curious on just what's possible. What can I do? But along the way, I realized there are days when it's just not working. When no matter how hard you try, it just feels like you're pushing the boulder uphill. These are the times where we get to be gentle with ourselves and say, not today. You did the best you can today, even though it wasn't stellar. You did the best you can today. And it's time to rest. Time to take it easy. Take a nap, go to bed early, take a nice bath, maybe even a glass of wine. And as you lay your head on the pillow, recount your blessings for the day. However small, recount your blessings for the day with the intention to begin anew in the morning. Because sometimes all you can do is all you can do. Treat yourself from the perspective of a wise, compassionate, unconditionally loving parent, and be nurturing and forgiving to yourself. You've done all you can today. Take a load off and begin anew in the morning. Until next time, this is your friend and host, Daniel Denovi, urging you to follow your bliss. Live your life from inner signals. Be inner directed as you engage in the epic adventure.